Boy, oh boy. Oh my God. I tell you what, I have never, ever had that happen before. That was that was interesting. Um, I hope you guys can switch over to the other. Hi, Amber. Man, you guys switch over. Switch over to this channel, to this one. Oh my God. Listen. Hmm. Somebody know likey what I was gonna be talking about. Hey sis, how you doing? My goodness gracious me. Listen, there was no go live button. It wasn't there. I set everything up and everything ready to go. It was there. And then all of a sudden, like 1 minute before I was supposed to come on, I get this notice that they have to update my firmware. And I'm like, what? This time of day? Because normally that doesn't happen. Hi, Chloe. Normally that doesn't happen. Not this time of day. And okay, so all right, just hang on. I'll be there in a minute. I'm thinking. Told my husband, go on there and tell him I'll be there in a minute. And then I sign back in and there's no my little thing is there showing where I put out the announcement that I'm coming on, and then all of a sudden there was no way to get on unless I started all over again. So I am so sorry that I don't know a bunch of jackasses hijacked my thing, but here we are. That's right. Now I know y'all are thinking, wasn't she just on here? Because I come on like maybe twice a month or something, and say what I got to say and go about my business. But I want to ask you all a question based on some comments that I was made aware of concerning my last video. And this is a serious question. I'm being very serious when I ask you this. Based on the things that you have heard me say, um, I would think that everybody that comes on my channel or that has followed me for any length of time knows that number one, I'm a patriot. Number two, I'm a veteran. Number three, I love my country. But I should say number one, I'm a Christian. Okay. Christ is my savior. Am I perfect? No. Am I striving? Yeah. So anyway, and I didn't become a Christian just because I read the Bible and thought I knew more than everybody else about the Bible. Okay. It's a lifestyle. It's a relationship. So if you ain't got that and you're not striving to have that lifestyle and relationship with Christ, then you're not a Christian. You're just a historian or you're somebody who read the book and now think that you know more than everybody else. But anyway, you know who you are and you know why I said that. So there you go. Anyway, um, I wanted to ask you though, very seriously, have I ever said anything on my channel that made you think that I was calling for an insurrection? I would like to know. Um, just put yes or no in the chat, please. I'm not even being funny. I'm laughing because, in my opinion, that mindset toward me is so absolutely far fetched and ridiculous. Till the only thing that person did was outed themselves as very left leaning, although they say they're not a Democrat. They're so left leaning till they're kissing the heels of the Democrats. You might as well just join them. Okay, you are who you are. Anyhow, thank you. No, no, but there's got to be one jackass on every channel that just has to just do crazy stuff. Whatever. All right, good. I'm glad we all on the same page. Don't feed the trolls. I want to read you something. When you think of the word treason, right? First, let me explain something. When you think of the word treason, It is when you are trying to overthrow a sovereign of a nation, right? You're trying to overthrow a king of a nation or a queen, a sovereign, right? And we don't have a king or a queen. We're not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic for and by the people. Okay. So now let me read something to you that Thomas Jefferson said in 1776 as part of his reason for why he felt the Constitution was so very important. He says, whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, and that means the ends of securing liberty and all that, it listen to this. This is a constitutional republic. This ain't a democracy. I don't care what the mainstream media tells you. I don't care what the White House tells you. We have never been a democracy, ever. Our constitution, we're not founded like that. We have a democratic process in place, but we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. But you know what? The psychological game that has been played on the minds of the American people for the last 3, 4 years has been just keep saying the word, just keep saying democracy, our democracy, our democracy, our democracy. And after a while, it'll get so ingrained in them that they forget that we're a constitutional republic. But this is part of the problem. This is what happens when civics is not taught in school anymore. People will just grow up or come up or just be brainwashed into believing whatever the mainstream media or the national mic says. All right, let me finish reading what Thomas Jefferson said. I'm gonna start over since I've gotten to a thing. Does it bother y'all when I get all loud and start screaming and stuff? You know I ain't mad at you, right? I'm just mad, but you know I ain't mad at you, right? You ain't taking it personal, right? If you are, your skin is too thin. You might want to leave the room. Okay. All right. Listen, whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall see most likely to affect their safety and happiness. It is their right and it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. That's one of the founding fathers. That's Thomas Jefferson in 1776. So, for the weak minded, left leaning individuals who think I'm trying to incite an insurrection and I'm speaking treasonous language, whatever. You need to, you know what? You pride yourself in thinking you know what you're talking about. Clearly you don't. Okay? Clearly you don't. So, just go somewhere and be somebody. All right, moving on. I wanted to tell you what's happening with these truckers. First of all, the gentleman that they say started this movement did not start a movement. Okay, he did not start anything. What he said was, and what was his name? Chicago Ray. What he said was, when he has been on his radio, this is what other truckers had been saying to him. This is what they're saying they're doing. They're boycotting New York. They're not going there. He didn't say whether he was or not. I don't recall hearing him say that. And again, I don't and he's being accused of insurrection and trying to overthrow and he's being accused of all this stuff too. He never said that. He said, I'm not the head of any kind of movement. I just came on YouTube and told y'all what other truckers were telling me when I was heading in the opposite direction on the road. So, but because he put the video out, everybody want to hang it on something because everybody needs a leader. Okay. So they think. But anyway, so these truckers are boycotting New York as a way to peacefully protest against the tyrannical government of that state and city. Okay? It is a peaceful protest. That's what a boycott is. It's a peaceful protest. You have the right, it is your right, it is your duty to throw off such tyrannical government. That's what our Constitution said. That's what our founding fathers said. Okay, that ain't treason. I'll tell you what treason is. Let me tell you what treason is. Treason is letting spy balloons fly over your country unabated. That's treason. Treason is having the borders open, letting drugs run in, human traffickers run in, drug smugglers run in, pedophiles run in, police officers getting beat nearly to a pulp with with impunity. No kind of nothing happens to these people. That is treason. When you turn against your own people, that's treason. Okay, so don't be lying on me talking about I'm trying you out of your mind. You need to go somewhere and see somebody. Anyway, and so exactly, January 6th was not an insurrection. It was a Fed operation. That's what that was, and we all know it, except for the left-leaning liberals and Democrat bootlickers that don't want to face the truth because they're so entrenched in their hatred for somebody or people who actually love this country. People really got. I'm gonna tell you something. You listen to people's conversation. You listen to what they say about this country. You listen to what who and what principles they got their wagon hitched to, and that'll tell you exactly what they're about. And I don't care if they claim to be Republican, Democrat, Independent, or jackass. Okay, I don't care what party they're signed up to. You listen to their conversation, you listen to their principles that they're leaning to, and that'll tell you exactly who they are. Exactly who they are. And I'll tell you something else. You cannot go into a spiritual battle, a natural battle, a physical battle, or no kind of anything and expect to win when you got people cowering in the corner saying, I don't think we should do anything. No, we don't. We don't got to do nothing. Well, you just sit there and do nothing. That's exactly what they want you to do. But the founding fathers said it's your right, it is your duty to do something. Okay. Everybody has a part. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. And let me explain something else to you. I'm so doing my part till I'm part of our state committee here, and we had a senator censured for getting in bed with the devil in regard to this border. Okay. All right. No more money for you until you get your head out of your rear end and understand that your commitment is supposed to be to the people of Oklahoma and not to the cartels. Okay? So, yeah, that's what we did to him because we love this country and we love this state. And people that was a peaceful protest. That was over 100 and something state committee people coming together in this state from all over this state, writing a declaration and a resolution saying, we, as the governing body of this state in this party, say to you, who we elected to represent us, that you have not done your job and we ain't happy about it. Okay. This is how you hold people accountable. But this whole mindset of, I can't say nothing. I don't want to get involved. And you act like you on a plantation somewhere. What you think master coming after you with a whip? Stop laughing. Let me just stop.
Yeah.
Let me stop. Okay. Let me just
Trying to get you on an economic plantation so that you cannot function
Hi
without the
Sharon.
government saying so.
Hi Sharon. Amber. Hi LT. How y'all doing? Oh Lord Jesus. Constitutional. How you doing, man? Oh Lordy. This world is sick. You got that right. You got that right. I'm telling you what, listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you who's in Washington and who is probably in some of your states. Okay. You have people who love the country. You have people who are sold out to the enemy because they either been compromised because they took money from the wrong folks or they've been filmed on camera doing things that they had no business doing with people they shouldn't have been doing it with, and they're being blackmailed. It's like play ball or we will destroy your life. We already see what they're capable of doing. Okay. Um, I don't care who's in office. When you're trying to find somebody millions upon millions of dollars where there was no crime and there is no victim, you're evil. Okay, you're just evil. You can call me a Trumpster or whatever you I don't care. You can call me whatever you want to call me. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me who was in office. It doesn't matter to me who. It could be a Democrat that people are doing this thing to. This is terrible. This is it is lawlessness. It is lawfare. It is people using the judicial system trying to destroy a family and trying to destroy a life. Now that makes me a Trumpster. You're an idiot. Okay, I'm sorry. You really need to find a different channel. I ain't got time for you. That's ridiculous. If they were doing it to you, you wouldn't. You'd be feeling some kind of way about it. You committed no crime. You had people that came in that you actually did business with and said you didn't do anything wrong, and you're going to find him for what? For what? That's ridiculous. It is our right, it is our duty to replace or abolish tyrannical governments that we are dealing with right now. Okay. So when you go to the box in November, you may think, now let me just say this because I understand what happened to people's minds when we see what happened at the last time. Okay. They conveniently came up with a pandemic to make everybody stay home so that they could, write the ballots. And listen, I was an inspector at polls. I know how that's supposed to go. You can't send them ballots in. You have to send them in a specific envelope that is provided for you. Okay? At least in this state. And there's no way to mail that thing without folding it. When you're getting ballots that ain't even folded, ain't even signed, nothing, nothing. And they're just put in over and over and over again, and it's on film. And somebody wants to come back and say it's the most secure election. Oh my God. Listen. Oh my God. Don't, let me just it's like the border is secure. The vice president, yeah, they secured it. They secured it for the cartels. That's exactly what they did. All right. While they acting like they hate China so much, and China's this, China's our enemy, blah, blah, blah. Come on. Come on. You can't even go into Walmart and pick up an item that ain't made in China. If China's so bad, how come they got 90% of our economy? What? Why is that? Why is that? We're either in bed with the enemy or we're really, really a special kind of stupid. Okay? Anyway, let me just say the truckers that are boycotting New York, this is the same thing that happened with Budweiser earlier last year. If you guys remember that. Because they went so woke and got so stupid, people decided, yeah, you know what? I'm not giving you my money. I'm not giving you my money, and they darn near went broke. Okay. People just stop giving them your money. Stop supporting them. That's what you do. Now you can't do that in every case because, like I said before, we're so intricately connected to a lot of these things till you just can't do that in every case. But you can do it in a lot of cases, right? You vote with your wallet. Vote with your wallet. You get on the phone. You call your congressman. You call your senator, and you identify yourself. Especially if you're sitting in office. Uh, in your state or in your city or the city council or whatever, it carries weight if you're sitting in a place where the people have elected you to represent them. Okay, like the people here in my state and in my county elected me to represent them at the state level. And that's what I do. I'm very connected to some of the senators in this county, in this state here in Oklahoma. Do I talk about that? No, because I don't name drop and I don't do all this stuff. People don't know who my connections are. They don't know. They might think they know, but they don't know. Trust me, they don't. They don't know who I talk to. They don't know who I call. Though they don't know whose ear I have. They don't know whose phone number I have. They don't know whose. I'm talking about personal phone numbers. I'm not talking about their office number. I'm talking about their home number. I'm talking about they don't know who I've been to dinner with, who I've sat down with, who I've talked to and shared my concerns with. They don't know that. You know why? Because I don't go blabbing it everywhere. I'm not trying to score points with anybody. I'm trying to save this country. I'm trying to save my state. That's what I'm trying to do. So it's not about me or who I know and name dropping and look who I went to dinner with and oh, I spent the night at their house and I'm not into all that. Okay, I'm trying to protect the people that elected me to represent their desires. Okay, that's what I'm about. Anyway, anybody feeling tender? Because that was the other thing to say. You just screaming. Yeah, I'm screaming. It's my channel. Turn your volume down or go home. How about that? Jeez. Go on your channel and whisper. I don't do that here. I'm passionate. Lord have mercy. Okay, listen. There's many ways to protest without becoming violent or stupid, okay? There's many ways to do it. You gotta do it in a meaningful way. You have to do it in a peaceful way. Stay peaceful. But it is your right and it is your duty to let your elected officials know when they are misrepresenting you or they are not doing their job. And that's what I did as a state committee person, and that's what I will continue to do. So, let me see. So the last time I was on, I told you guys, I said, what I do is I look at what's going on around the world and I try to keep my finger on the pulse. There is so much going on till I can't keep up with every single thing. But I try to keep my finger on the pulse of things so that I know what to come on here and tell you guys about. Now, you need to keep an eye on what I'm going to tell you. France has written into law, this just happened like in the last week or two. Listen to this, that it is punishable by imprisonment if you even criticize or have a conversation about Pfizer's medications and the jab. Okay. The law is labeled, we call it Article Pfizer. And it is a it's a broader trend toward increasing state control over public health. Um, the narratives about personal health choices and bodily autonomy and all that is being squashed in France. If you talk about it, then you can be in prison for 3 years or pay 45,000 euro as a fine. Okay, now you can find this on bnnbreaking.com. I think that's British news network. That's what's happening in France. Okay, this thing that's going on is going on around the world, folks. This is not just our country. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But they're playing by the same playbook. It's just that each country is on a different chapter or on a different page, but it's the same book. If you think about what happened up north in Canada, where the prime minister squashed the truckers up there, shut their voice, canceled their licenses, did all this kind of stuff because they wanted to go back to work. They wanted their kids to go back to school. And he turns around and says those kinds of mindsets and thoughts are not consistent with the principles and the desires of the Canadian people. What did he think he thought they weren't Canadians? The ones that wanted to go back to work and their kids go back to school? Oh my Lord, I'm telling you, these people are psychopaths. They are crazy. And if they're not crazy, they've been blackmailed or they've been paid off to toe the line. I ain't a toe the line kind of person. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All righty then. So something else has happened. Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna go over here and look at y'all's comments. Is anybody on here crazy as me? Just tell the truth. Shame the devil. Come on, you know you if you wasn't as crazy as me, you wouldn't be on here. All right, let's see. Oh, lordy. It's hard to be peaceful when every fact or concern gets called out for hate speech. And that's what they do. So what they're saying is, if you don't agree with what we're trying to push on you, what we're trying to force on you, it's hate speech. If we look at you and you have male genitalia and we say you're a man and you just, you want to put on a wig that day, high heels and some booty cutting shorts, and we say you're a man in high heels, a wig, lipstick, and booty cutting shorts, it's hate speech. It's truth now, but it's hate speech. Okay, anything they don't agree with is hate speech. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now I'm telling you, as long as you have a will, you better exercise it because that's what they're trying to crush. They're trying to crush your right to exercise your free will and your free conscience. That's what they're trying to do. A constitutional republic supports a free people. This is not a monarchy where we do whatever King Charles says or whoever, whatever king or whatever monarch is. So this is a republic by the people, formed by the people, for the people. And we are supposed to be calling the shots, not the government. How did things get turned around like this? Because people do this. I ain't got to say nothing. No, I don't. I ain't got to do nothing. Well, that's what happens. That's what causes evil to prosper. Is good people do absolutely nothing. So you're part of the problem. If you have that mindset, you need to search your soul. Something is desperately wrong if you think that everything that you see going on around you and the human suffering that is taking place because you got people coming from countries that have been absolutely lied to about what was going to happen to them when they got here. Everybody ain't getting them $10,000 gift cards. Everybody's not getting that, folks. These people get here, they got 30 days in a shelter, and then they get kicked out. If they're a family, they get like 60 days, and then they get kicked out. They got to go to the back of the line and try to find somewhere else to stay. And you got immigrants sleeping on the streets. You got illegal aliens sleeping on the streets. You have people who have been on the waiting list, who have paid the money, who have taken the exam, who have done everything was asked of them, and they have been pushed to the back of the line because this government wants to replace us with people that they can use, with people that they don't have to give $15 an hour to, or people that they don't have to give $50 an hour to. They can just give them $2 an hour or $4 an hour. But good luck making it on that in the United States. Okay. Listen, make sure you hit the thumbs up, and when the video is over, I really I still want to know what your thoughts are and stuff. So when the chat is over, make sure you go down into the comment section of the video and put whatever other thoughts you have. And another thing I want to ask you to do is when you go out and and you're going to the stores and stuff, um, write me and tell me what you're seeing, because I think it's important because we're all spread out, right? And different things are happening in different places in our country. And if you see anything unusual, please write me. My email address is in the description box, and I answer all my emails. Just write me and let me know what you see, and I'll be happy to share it on the channel. And just tell me what state you're in. You don't have to tell me what city you're in if you don't want to, but just tell me what state you're in, and what store you went in, and then what you saw or whatever is going on. But yeah, so France, let me get back to what's happening around the world. France has done that. And Canada is very close to doing that. Very, very close to doing that. And not only that, but Canada has gotten so outrageous. And this has been going on for like 2 or 3 years now, that if you're unhappy, they have a solution for you. It's called the MAID service, medical assistance in dying. They will kill you. You're unhappy, and you let them know that you're unhappy. Just let them know, and they'll offer you maid service. They will offer to kill you. I am not lying. I'm not exaggerating. I ain't making it up. I'm telling you the honest God truth. They will offer to put you out of your misery. Why? Well, you're a bit of a tax burden if they gotta, pay for you to see all these psychiatrists and go through all this therapy and all this kind of stuff. It's just easy to kill you. If you want to die, just let us know. Just let us know. Vote for us. We'll set you free. That's they're crazy. They're crazy. It's part of the whole depopulation agenda. You call it conspiracy theory if you want to. You better look up the Georgia Guidestones, okay, that were mysteriously taken down. But look it up. Look it up. What was written on the Georgia Guidestones about how many people they wanted to populate the earth? Mm-hmm.
They just introduced legislation saying if you're over 12, you can apply.
Yes. So Canada introduced legislation. If you're unhappy with your life and you're over the age of 12, that means you could be 13 and say, well, I'm kind of sad and I'm kind of miserable. I think I want to die. You're 13. You're hormonal. It'll pass. Okay. Wait till you get my age. But, but that's a whole nother kettle of fish. But anyway, you're 13. You're 14. You're starting your cycle. You're doing all kinds of stuff is going on. You don't want to die. You just feel like you want to die. Okay. They will happily kill you in Canada if you're over the age of 12 and you feel sad. Okay. I'm telling you, this is how psychotic these people are. They're nuts. Now, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, 2021, when all of this weirdness that actually came from our lab, Fort Detrick, found its way into China, got released onto the world. You tracking? You know what I'm talking about, right? And everybody had to stay home because you was gonna kill Granny if you didn't. Started out as do us a favor, love thy neighbor, stay home, protect your grandmother, blah blah blah. Just 15 days. That's all we're asking. We'll have it under control. And I'm sitting there thinking like, I wonder if this is going to be a bait and switch. All right, we'll go along with the 15 days. So we went along with the 15 days. Then they come back on. They say, well, we don't really have this under control. We're going to ask for 30 days. 30 days. And I told my husband, this is a crock of crap. Okay, this is a trap. This is a trap. They're trying to slowly lead people into a bondage, into a slavery. That's what they're trying to do because they want something. It's something they want to get from us. And so at the 4 week mark, we were like, nope, I ain't staying home. I'm not doing this. I'm not, no. Nope. Something's wrong with this. Something's wrong with this. And then the threats started. Then, well, if you don't, we're going to take your job. If you don't, we're not going to let you go to the movies. If you don't, you can't even go buy food. And China was so bad, they were literally welding people into their homes. They could not get out to get food. They couldn't do anything. People literally starved to death in their homes because the government. I can't even get my head around that kind of cruelty. That's just crazy. Or they would beat you in the street if they saw you out there without this or whatever. It's crazy. Um, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, it was supposed to be the cat's pajamas. 3 years ago, it was the only way not to spread it. You had Rachel Mad Cow disease on TV telling everybody, if you do it, you won't get it. And then people were doing it and getting it. I had family members that took that and got sick as a dog. I have friends that took that and it killed them. It killed them. They died from it. Okay? It made them desperately sick and they died. And you couldn't do anything about it because it was under an emergency act. You couldn't sue, you couldn't do anything. Well, guess what? Guess what? Now they can't hide it no more. That it is a total blunder. They can't hide it anymore. That people have gotten so sick around the world in so many countries, and they've narrowed it down to three or four companies that was pushing this stuff. Now they got heart problems. You have star athletes in their prime, in their 20s and 30s, dropping dead in perfect health. Just dropping dead. Just dropping dead. Pilots dropping dead in the sky. Okay? In the sky. I ain't flew in a while. Might not. Neither. Okay? Thank God for co-pilots, you know? But I'm saying this stuff was happening and the mainstream media was squashing it. They did not want you to know what they had done to the world for money. They don't care. You are expendable. This is why I've been trying to tell you. So the whole idea of prepping, getting your own medicines, looking into natural herbs and stuff like this, people, it has become a necessity. Okay. It has become a necessity. You know now you cannot trust big pharma. You cannot. They they don't practice healthcare. They practice sick care. That's what they practice. They give you stuff to manage your sickness. They don't give you stuff to make you well. If you get well, they lose a patient. If they lose a patient, who's going to buy their stuff? Think about that. If you don't have a headache, you don't need their aspirin. Right? Right? Oh Lord. And that's a whole nother subject. But back to this, you know, now is so much damage. There's so many injuries out there. There's so many birth defects and fetal injuries and all this kind of stuff going on so much. It is genocide, people. Do you hear me? It is genocide. It is so much damage going on. They can't hide it anymore. It's too many people coming forward. So now the US, we looked this up, by the way. Ain't making it up. We looked it up. The US has a vaccine injury compensation payout thing that they did in 2023. The maximum you could get if you could prove that you were injured as a result of getting a booster or whatever, the maximum was $250,000 if it caused you to become permanently disabled somehow. You have to be able to prove it though. Now, they got shrewd attorneys with very deep pockets, these companies have. Okay. So I don't know who's been actually paid out or not, but I'll tell you something. I know for a fact I've lost probably three friends at least. One is questionable, but the other two definitely they killed them. And there's no doubt in my mind about that. Broke my heart. Um, I spent a lot of time arguing with some people from younger generations trying to explain to them because they have not been around long enough to understand just how evil a government can be. They were hung up on getting their student loans paid off. So they just thought this was the cat's pajamas. These people got to be looking out for us. And I'm like, no, that guy, I've been around for that man's entire political career. And he's always been a liar and a pedophile. Okay. Why do you want to believe anything that they're telling you now about paying off your loans and all this kind of stuff? Why do you want to don't believe them? Please don't believe me. Anyhow, if you become permanently disabled, you can file for that. The vaccine injury. In the way of what's happening on the economy, um, there was a lady in Orlando. This is what she said. She says that her Walmart in Orlando has pallets and pallets of canning jars. And so she thought, well, that's unusual. You know, they usually have some, but not pallets and pallets of canning jars. So she works there. So she asked her manager, why do we have so many canning jars? And she was told, now I haven't looked on Ball's website, but this is what the lady said. She was told that Ball is stopping production of all their canning jars with the exception of the 8 ounce and the 16-ounce jars. Okay. Now go to their website because I did not look this up. I'm just saying this is what this lady said. Okay. That works at a Walmart in Orlando, Florida. So I don't know what that's about. You know, if there's problems being able to produce the glass or whatever. I don't know what's going on with that. I know that a few months back there was a problem with aluminum and they were having trouble being able to make the lids and stuff. So there was a shortage of lids. And but this is what she said that they're supposed to be just downsizing to 8 ounce and 16 ounce. So if you use those half-gallon ones and all that when you're fermenting food or whatever, you may want to go ahead and get what you need now, like the jelly jars and stuff like that. If you can your own stuff, just check it out. Go to Ball website and see, or call them and see. So I'm just telling you what she said. I didn't check it out, but you can check it out for yourself. I'll tell you something else that happened yesterday. This was odd. Now, in the city where our house is, every day at noon there's a noon whistle, well, a siren that goes off because it's noon straight up, right? Every day. No big deal. I ain't in the city. I'm out in the country, about almost an hour away. Yesterday, about 2 o'clock, 2:30, somewhere around there, the sirens went off here, out here in this town where I'm at. I'm like, wait a second. I was on a long distance call, and the person that I was on the call with said, because they could hear it, said, are you okay? Are you guys okay? And I said, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I asked my husband, look out the window because it sounded like air raid sirens. Okay, now listen to this. A few days ago, I caught wind of a conversation that FEMA was telling these cities, all these cities, to update their emergency broadcast systems, like their sirens and stuff, right? Update them and get them war ready. What? So I'm thinking, get out of here. You know, I just thought, yeah, man. And then the sirens went off. I'm like, what? So look, y'all, they are pushing for war. They're pushing. War is money. They don't care if they send your son, your daughter out there to die as long as they get paid. Lockheed Martin, all the Boeing, these guys, they don't care nothing about you or your kids or your grandkids. They're making money. They don't care. War is money. You know, you have an economy that's starting to crash. We need a war. You better be careful who you vote for in November. If they're not talking about we need peace, we need to stop the craziness, and they're talking about we got to keep sending money to Ukraine. Keep sending. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. First of all, where you getting all this money from to send to Ukraine, but then you want to cry and whine about you don't have enough money to take care of these illegal people? Um, we have veterans on the street. We have U.S. citizens on the street that paid taxes their whole lives and got priced out of their own homes because their jobs were not paying them enough to make ends meet because of inflation. These people are on the street with their kids. And you want the taxpayer to send money to Ukraine? What is wrong with you? What is what is wrong? What you been drinking? Pour it out. Okay? Anyway, back to the sirens. And then I'm gonna get to the cyber attacks. Oh Lord Jesus. Yeah. So that was a real thing. Okay. I had heard about it, but I didn't know. And then the sirens went off where we are. And I thought, wow. So my husband called City Hall and said, what's going on? And they said, we have to test the system. They're being now, listen, I know that they should test the system every now and again, anyhow. But if you blow the siren every day at noon, that's a pretty good test that it's working, right? This was in the middle of the afternoon, just out of the blue. It was unusual. It was unusual to the point where we thought there was some kind of an emergency going on. So we called to find out what is going on. We didn't know if we needed to leave or not, which brings me to my next point, right, in regard to that. If that happens in your town or in your city and you got to get out of there real quick, like, what are you going to do? You need to have a plan to get out if you have to, right? Or if you cannot, like one lady told me a long time ago, she said, I would not be able to leave. My mother is elderly. She's too sickly. We can't move her. We would have to shelter in place. Okay, have a plan to do that. How could you best secure your home if you had to shelter in place and the sirens were going off and it was not a test? How can you protect yourself and your family? You need to have these conversations with the people that you love, not just the ones that are in your house, but people that you love, people that you care about, and ask them, listen, you need to think about that. You really need to take seriously what is happening in our world right now and how they're trying to push us into a war and how we have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people coming across our border that are fighting age men. These are not all people that's looking to to have a better life. We can't accommodate the entire world, okay? So, and all these people, these bleeding heart people, they just want a better life. Well, how many families have you taken in? Okay, with your hypocritical self. Anyway, you need to think about that. If you need to get out, what is your exit route? And let me tell you, if you're thinking about taking a main road, you can forget that because everybody else is thinking that too. So think something else. don't think that I'm gonna take the main road out. No, you ain't, because you're gonna be gridlocked. You're gonna be stuck in traffic, probably for hours, trying to get out of your city. Okay. And this is why several years back, people were saying, they were blowing the trumpet saying, get out of the cities, get out of the big cities, get out of the big cities. And everybody was like, you're just conspiracy theorists. You're just fear mongering. Okay. You see what's happening to the cities? All right. I'm just saying. Just be thinking about that. If you got to get out, where would you go? Make sure you have arrangements if there's other people there that they know that if something goes real south, real fast, real quick, like, and you need to get out, you're coming that way and you're going to bring as much of your supplies as you can with you because you do not want to be a burden to somebody else. Okay. You have to think about that. I know it sucks. I know it sucks. It's kind of like sitting down trying to write out a will. It sucks. Okay. But it's necessary. You need to get it done. Yesterday, I slept through this. Honest to God, I did because it happened in the middle of the night. But you guys probably heard about the AT&T the cyber attack that happened, right? I slept through it. I have AT&T. They suck, but I do have them. 70,000 people is what the report I got, could not reach 911 for emergency assistance. So here's the thing. What do you have in place? Now there's something you can do with your phone too, depending on what kind of phone you have, where you can bypass that. If the phone systems go down, there's a setting on your phone, or there might be, depending on what kind of phone you have. Check into it. You can call your carrier or the place where you bought your phone from and find out if you have this feature. Just give them the model number of your phone and say, do I have this feature? Or Google it, right? But you can bypass the telephone system by putting on Wi-Fi calling, by turning that on your phone, and it'll use a Wi-Fi network to make a call, right? I didn't even know I had that on my phone until they were telling us yesterday how to bypass the system if the system goes down or is under some type of a cyber attack, because this is what happened. Um, so I'm looking around on my phone. I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. So yeah, sure enough, I have that feature on my phone. I told my husband he has an Android. I have an iPhone, and he checked, and yes, he has it on his phone too. So depending on what generation your phone is, if you have a much older phone, you may not have it on there. But check your phone and see if you have a feature called Wi-Fi calling. And if the phone system goes down, you should be able to at least make emergency calls through Wi-Fi. Okay. So check that out. Check into your phone, because that's another thing. If communication goes down and it's down for, several hours, and you need to get somewhere or you need to get in touch with somebody, how are you going to do that? What's your plan? Do you have radios? Do you have an alternate source where you can communicate with other people? Right? How are you going to do that? Um, the other thing that I wanted to mention was I had one of the subscribers that happens to be on here tonight just mentioned to me that we still have Chinese balloons flying. Now, listen, you want to talk about treason, okay? Letting a hostile nation fly over your country collecting data, and you think I'm committing treason? Wow. Because you feel some kind of way about me being upfront about what's really going on? You need help. Yeah, your Democrat side is showing, even though you say you're not one. My goodness. Listen, folks, there's a lot going on. Um, there's things that you can do to protect yourself and protect your family as best you can. You can't listen, you can't stop these people from being crazy. They're crazy. They lunatics, they crazy, they hate you, they hate me. Okay, whatever. But you can do what you can do to protect yourself and your family. Please take this seriously. Take this seriously. The other thing I want to tell you is, and I mentioned this before, concerning your finances, concerning your assets, I keep telling you, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. You see what's happening with these banks. You see, you listen, people are going into the bank and can't cash their check. They can't cash their check. This one guy went to the bank, Bank of America. He went to the bank to cash his paycheck from his job. The check was good. The bank was not. The bank said, we have no cash. They had no zero. They could not cash the man's check. How crazy is that? One of my internet friends was giving telling us a story the other day about how I'm not going to say who it is, but I remember listening to him talking about how he ran short on some money. I think he forgot his wallet or something, and he had some silver, so he cashed in the silver. He needed to get some gas, and he got the money and he got the gas. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. If you have silver, if you have gold, if you have other assets, manage them well. Okay, just manage them well, and as much as possible, get out of as many systems as you can. The education system, the banking system, you get out as many systems as you possibly can, because they do not mean you any good at all. Okay? Not at all. Now, I need to read y'all's comments because I can't believe I've been talking all. Hi, Carolyn. Anyhow, she said, my expressions are fine. My smile balances out my loudness. Turn your volume down. I can't help it. Anyway, listen, I think it's real important, especially what's happening with the food. Did you notice when you go to the store? Now, this is happening in some areas, doesn't seem to be happening everywhere. But when you go into some of these stores, it seems like people are still having problems with milk. Like the milk might have an expiration date that's a week and a half, 2 weeks out. and they get it home, they open it, and like in 3 or 4 days, it's already starting to turn, it's spoiling. Um, or the fruits and the vegetables in the store look like they've been beat up, or they're old, or they're just not good. They look like they've been passed around from store to store or something. Um, and then you have all the food recalls, and you have all the warehouses that were burning down, and you have all, uh, where where the food going? They try to get you to empty your cupboards, okay, so that they could send it to Lord knows where. I don't know. Maybe they sending it to their own house. Here's my final question, and I want you to think about this. I asked this question. I had a group of ministers I was talking to last night, and I asked this question. I said, because some governors are doing this, they are asking, which states were those? It was it Massachusetts, Michigan? I can't think of all the states that are doing this, but they are so overwhelmed with illegal immigrants that they are asking the citizens, who they are taking their tax dollars and funding these people, they're asking the citizens to bring these people into their homes. Did you hear me? That's a no for me. But first of all, what happened? Now, see, here we go. Here we go with the bleeding heart people who feel like they just want a better life. Well, give them one. All right, bring them into your home. Uh, uh, Jack Lovely, who you don't know who he is, where he came from. You don't even know if that's his wife or his kids, or if that's just a cover for him. Because we have gangs that have come from Venezuela and MS-13 that have linked up together to overthrow this country. And according to an officer from Homeland Security and a U.S. Marshal that I spoke to for an hour and a half, these gangs are in all 50 states now. They are here and they are serious about doing us harm. You don't hear our government telling us to get ready for anything, but you got these other governments that are telling their people, you need to stock up on food, you need to do this. There was another country, and I can't think of who it was now because there's so much going on, that was telling their citizens, prepare for war. Prepare for war. He said, we are hoping it does not happen, but prepare for war. Get your food, get your medication, get your stock up on water. They're telling their citizens this. You don't hear that happening here, except for people like us, people like me, that people that got real thin skin can't really handle. Anyway, I don't care. You need to find somewhere else to be. Um, but you need to take this seriously, folks, because they're not, listen, we can't stop this. We can't make them stop. Okay. The only thing we can do is the best we can do through the system that we have is to get rid of these psychopaths that are running the country, and the citizens of these other nations, whatever process they have, peaceful process that they have, that they can do something about this to protect themselves and to protect their posterity, they need to do that. Okay. Um, it's going to take a miracle. This ain't no one man job. Okay. It's going to take a miracle to save this nation and to turn this mess around. And it's going to take a very long time because there is so much damage done. It ain't going to be done with no one term of a presidency. It's just not. If you look back in history and you look at when the Great Depression started, right after the boom, you know, and then the stock market crashed and all this crazy stuff happened, do you realize that that went on for 10 years? It took 10 years to come out of that. 10 years. This is not a one off. This is not a, you know, well, this happened now or it just happened under this presidency. This has been happening for the last 50, 60 years. Uh, Herbert Walker Bush was the first president that I ever heard. This is me. I wasn't even paying attention. I couldn't even vote then. But he was the first president, looking back, that I ever heard use the expression New World Order. And this is what they're doing. They are playing the long game. They are decades into this, decades into this. So this is not a new thing. This is not a new concept. This is not a, oh my God, what's going on? They know exactly what's going on. But if people don't know history, then they don't have anything to look back on. They don't have a clue what's going on. They're like, what is happening? I'll tell you what's happening. They don't like you. They don't like me. They know they're losing votes by the thousands, and that's why they got to bring all these people in, right? Then you got people in Congress and in the Senate that own vineyards and all kinds of stuff where they need cheap labor to do the work for them. That American citizens are saying, hey, you're not going to expect me to do that kind of work for that kind of money. No, you had to pay me. Oh, well, he ain't going to pay you. We're going to ship in somebody whose annual income is $1,900 a year. They'll be happy to do it. They'll be happy to do it, for 12,000 a year rather than 1,900. They'll be happy to work far below the poverty level because whatever our poverty level is here makes them feel rich comparatively speaking to what they came from. They don't need you anymore. That's why we're being replaced. They don't need us anymore. So, well, y'all all right? Oh, Lord have mercy. You still love me? Y'all still love me? I hope so. If you want the truth, I'm going to tell you the truth when you come to this channel. Now, listen, you don't have to agree with everything I say. It's called being a free moral agent. You believe whatever you want to believe, but I'm going to give you the truth as best I can give it to you. And I hope you can hear what I say. And I hope you, even if I say something that sounds kind of crazy, go look it up for yourself. Just consider it. All I'm saying is just consider what I'm saying and look it up for yourself. I have no reason to lie to you. I have a life. I don't have to come on here and just lie. I am not the mainstream media, okay? I'm not getting paid to come on here and lie to you. So, there you go. Okay, I've been screaming for an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, and the person had problems with that too. This is my channel. If I want to whisper, I'll whisper. If I want to scream, I'll scream. If I want to cry, I'll do that too. Get your own channel. Do your own thing. God bless you. Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I am so glad. Listen, if you're new here, let me know. And again, like I said, when the broadcast is over, please leave your comments, your afterthoughts in the comment section. If you look back, I think I can I think I mentioned you guys before that I had some videos that were like over 17, you know, 100 people views and all this, and the next day they throttled me down to 100 and something. They are hiding the channel. So I am depending on you guys to share the channel. Please just push the share button and send it to someone else so that they can see it and they can come on here and dialogue with us and help us get the word out. And maybe you don't know how to explain all this to people. And a lot of people don't know what's going on because of the way they work and all this. I had a lady tell me one time, she says, I'm at work at 5 o'clock in the morning and I don't leave my job until 7 or 8 o'clock at night. She owns her own business. She said, if I didn't have a chance to tune in and listen to you, I wouldn't even know some of this stuff was going on. That's what she told me. So everybody doesn't have the time to devote. I'm retired. So everybody doesn't have the time to devote to um, digging into this stuff, day in and day out and trying to see what's going on and coming on here and blowing the trumpet and trying to help other people who don't have time to do that. They don't. I don't have any dependent children, or any of that stuff going on. So I have time. My husband and I, we have time to check into this kind of stuff and see what's going on and still live our lives. And when we don't want to do it, we don't do it. We just push away. That's why you don't see me on here every day. I have a life and I'm not going to allow politics or current events to consume my life. I have a life. I have a husband. We do things together. And so I try to keep my life balanced. Otherwise, I'd go nuts dealing with these fools. Okay. Anyhow, um, when you go to the polls, even on the county level, you need to be very careful. One of the things that that people that are in politics or that are, as one man said to me, I'm a political junkie, is what he said. And then he went on to say, do you know how much brown nosing, and I'm quoting, I had to do to get where I am? And I thought to myself, wow, um, seems to me that I read in the scriptures that your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. I never had the brown nose with anybody. You know, I go where God tells me to go, and I say what I feel He wants me to say. Now, do I always say it right? Nope, but I'm gonna say it anyway. And hope you forgive me if I blow it. But anyway, um, be careful when you're voting for people. Be very careful because a lot of people, they got the lingo, they know what the trigger words are, especially for conservatives. They know what the trigger is, and they'll say all this stuff. They'll say all this stuff, and then when they get in the office, they don't know you anymore. They don't have any use for you anymore. They don't want you to call their office anymore and let them know that you're not happy with the bill they voted on or whatever. Okay, I'm telling you, it's a jungle out there. It's a jungle out there. Oh Lord. Anyhow, well, I love you guys. Hi, Nurse Baker. Hi, Felicia. I had, you know what? Usually I'm reading the comments and stuff, and I hadn't been doing that because I really wanted to make sure I explain to you the difference between uh, treason, which is with a monarchy, and a constitutional republic, and your right to throw off or abolish tyrannical leadership. Okay, some people just don't know what they're talking about. They think they know. They're arrogant. They don't know what they're talking about. And um, I read to you what our founding fathers said, one of them. And that's just the bottom line. That is what our nation was founded on. We are a constitutional republic. So every time you turn on the television and you hear them say something about it's a threat to our democracy, it's a threat to our democracy, it's a threat, they are gaslighting you. They know full well this is not a democracy. They know it. All right. So I'm going to leave it there because that's where I kind of started. And you know, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me because you could be anywhere else. And I was just on here 3 days ago, so you know I must have had something hot off the press that I wanted to give to you. And so I want to leave you with that. Just remember, this is a constitutional republic. It is not a democracy. You have the right to abolish tyrannical leadership. You do it peacefully, but you have the absolute right to throw them off. You don't have to deal with it. You do not have to be a slave. You do not have to be an economic slave. You don't have, look what they've done to you. Look what they've done to you. Do you want more of this? You better do something about it. Check your phone. See if you got Wi-Fi calling on your phone. Check your phone. And if you don't have it, you really need to be trying to think about how would you get in touch with your family? You know, your kids, your grandkids, whatever, your husband, your wife. If you guys are separated in two different places, you're at one job, or he's at another job, or you're at home and he's somewhere else. How would you get in contact with your spouse to let them know that everything is not well, right? So you need an alternate form of communication. Check on those jars if you do any canning or anything like that, because I can't confirm that. Like I said, I didn't talk with Ball to see if that's true. But if it is true and you do a lot of jelly and stuff like that, you need to get your jars now, if it is true. Okay? All right, you guys. Dollar store is having trouble. Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree. If you need stuff from Dollar Tree, you better go to Dollar Tree and get it because they're struggling and they're talking about closing down more stores. So there's that. What else is there? I think that's all. I love you. I really appreciate you being here. I want the best for you. I want you to be safe. I want you to be peaceful. I want you to prosper in the middle of the craziness. I don't want you to be hungry. I don't want you to go broke. I don't want you to, you know, have all kinds of trauma and drama going on in your family um, because of the stress, the high stress level. And I certainly don't want you getting sick. So be careful. Um, Pay attention to what's going on. Try not to go out at night by yourself. If you're going to go out and you're in a metropolitan area, be very, very careful. Be very careful. If you carry protection, if you're trained in protection, make sure you have it with you if you absolutely just have to go out. Okay, this is not the world we grew up in. It is different. It's going to be this way for a while. It's going to get worse before it gets better. So do your due diligence. Pay attention to what's going on. Watch your finances. Watch your six. And I'll see you guys the next time I come on. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Please put your comments in the comment section, not the chat. When the video goes off, put your comments in the comment section. It helps keep the video in the forefront, and share the channel. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications. If you are subscribed and you're not getting the notifications, unsubscribe and resubscribe, because they keep doing that too. They're doing it to my channel. They're doing it to other people's channels. They're just unsubscribing people. So anyway, they don't like us. I'm surprised I'm still here. I'm going to check out Rumble and see how to do live streams on Rumble. I have no idea. Just in case YouTube decides to act a monkey, I got somewhere else to go. So anyway, all right, you guys, take care. God bless you, and I'll see you the next time I come on.